When 2 months ago 14-year-old Kate Bushell was killed while walking a dog near her home in Devon, the story made front-page news. 3 suspicious figures were reported: a vagrant, a van driver and a man seen running from the area. The next 10 minutes could be crucial to the inquiry. Unless a viewer can help now, the killer might not be caught until he strikes again.
From the moment that you fear that something awful might have happened to your child, your mind fears the worst and prepares itself for the worst. And shock sets in so that you don't feel anything different from that moment onwards. In fact, you're just completely taken out of the world.
Exwick is on the eastern edge of Exeter, and people tend to know each other. So when last summer a vagrant appeared, a local resident took notice. So did his dog.
As I was walking up the lane and going around to the first bend, this character was coming towards me. He had a long checky brown coat, big collar which was very tight to his neck, and he had long straggly hair. You had that impression that he'd been living rough and sleeping rough, you know.
The vagrant was seen around the area several times by the same witness. On one occasion,
The vagrant came out from behind a tree, crossed the lane and over the gateway. It was scary.
this was half a mile from Kate's home on a route she used to walk. It was Wednesday the 12th of November, 3 days before her murder.
Saturday morning, she got a token from when the Virgin Megastore had opened. She bought a CD for herself.
Come on, Kate, time to go.
She bought a book on The Simpsons for Tim.
What? CDs?
Oh, Lighthouse Family.
Who?
You've never heard of the Lighthouse Family?
No, I haven't.
She could be very adult-like at times. She could also be a very frustrating teenager to me, not to anyone else.
No trainers?
No.
She was a fun-loving child, good company. I've lost a very good friend in her. Just her cheerful presence around the house.
So what'd you get me?
I didn't get you anything.
What do you mean you didn't get me anything? It's my birthday. Can I have a lift to my mates, please, later?
We'll sort it out. Kate, do you want some lunch?
No, thanks, I'm not fine.
Tim, your dad's watching the television.
He's reading the paper.
It's fine, switch it on.
Very conscientious with her schoolwork. And that's when I went up at 4:30, she was doing it.
It's 4:30. Time to take Gemma for a walk.
Gemma was the next-door neighbour's dog, and Kate had agreed to walk her while the family were away for the weekend.
My last impression of her alive was just that she came into the living room, picked up Stuart and Alison's key and went out, and I thought nothing of it. I just thought, oh, Stuart and Alison are away this weekend, so she must be walking the dog.
Her father and his children were out stretching their legs at the same time.
That Saturday, the weather did ease off a bit, and we thought it was an ideal opportunity to take the children out. We went down to the blackberry bushes, and of course the children was thinking that there may be some blackberries there, and of course there obviously wasn't. So we just carried along at a leisurely pace. The point that we actually stopped was at the gate. I looked at my watch, and it was 5 to 5. I noticed this young girl, aged between 13 and 14. The thing that was noticeable was that she had white stripes on tracksuit bottoms, and obviously she was walking a dog.
Well, actually, when we turn around the lane, it goes into a little bend.
We'll only stay for a little while, just for a cup of tea. She'll be looking forward to seeing us.
And we saw the dog, so my mum slowed right down. And the angle which the girl was stood was facing me, and she was looking right at us, which was, we thought was unusual. She looked quite confident, and then we drove on. Then on the right-hand side, there was a van. And there's a chap stood by the van, and he had his back to us.
I haven't seen him before.
I thought, wait a minute, what is he doing there? When we heard of the murder, we felt very guilty. We had a guilt complex about it, as if we could have gone back and helped her some way.
When I'd finished the ironing and got dinner ready, I was beginning to think she ought to be home.
It's 6 o'clock.
She's not back?
No.
Right, I'll get the car keys, we'll drive up there.
She was such a reliable child, and she knew how much it worried us. I suppose at that time I was more thinking I'd had an accident, but I think deep down I knew there was more than that.
We're just going off the lane, and then we go back down to the estate. We can't drive up there.
I can remember driving along and having the windows open just in case we could hear her as we went past.
If she's not at her friend's, then we'll call the police.
For some reason, I just began to
Right.
get this sort of gut feeling of panic or dread inside. I knew there was nothing more to do. Suzanne, having already spoken to the police, and I'd seen them fairly briefly at the house, they'd got all the details they needed. And to me, the important thing was to go looking, because if she was injured or in pain in any way, the best thing was to get help as quickly as possible. I could hear nothing. As I was coming back onto the footpath route, I could see Gemma's eyes.
Gemma? Come here, girl. Come here, girl. Come on, Gemma. Come here, girl.
The next thing I knew, before I'd actually caught up with Gemma, I was at the top corner of the field where Kate's body was, and there was her body just to the right of me.
About an hour later, and half a mile away, with a police helicopter overhead.
I stepped out from the house and I looked up to see the helicopter above me. Then I heard footsteps running from the footpath beyond the house. I saw this chap running from the back.
It could be quite unconnected, but who is he? Mike Stevens, this was tragedy enough, but I think you're concerned this could just be the start.
I think all the officers on the inquiry are really concerned that this may happen again.
What we can do at least is eliminate as many clues as possible. Let's take this vagrant first, who was seen so often up to the time of the murder. What do you know about him?
Well, we know he was there at least 2 months prior to the murder and went missing thereafter. He's certainly described as a man 5'10", 6 feet tall, 30 to 40 years of age.
He's the one on the left here, in the big coat.
That's right. Now, the big coat, you seem to be always wearing that coat, even when it's very hot.
5'10" to 6 foot, always in the coat, stocky, late 30s. Now, the next clue is that blue van which you need to eliminate around the time of the murder.
The blue van was seen there by the last people to see Kate alive. We know it was facing out of the lane towards Whitstone. About a quarter of an hour earlier, 2 other witnesses had driven down the lane and seen a blue Fiesta parking in the opposite direction. Now, we want to know if, in fact, it was the same vehicle, or, in fact, there was a Fiesta there, or a blue van there as well.
Saturday, the 15th of November, that would have been about 4:45. And I think there's one issue which I actually haven't made public yet, but again, it's a matter of elimination. You found a series of dens where children may have hidden or grown-ups may have used around that area. You need to eliminate people who've used those. Tell us why.
Well, we found in the area of the murder itself a black bin liner. Now, in the bin liner there were some personal items, and from the bin liner we've had some fingerprints. We need to eliminate that bin liner and the bag itself.
And you want to make an appeal, a final appeal, or at least another appeal to the local community?
That's right. We've obviously had a lot of media coverage on this, but someone out there really does know about the individual concerned, and really we need that individual to come forward with that vital piece of evidence.
Whatever you know, please let us know now. 0500 600 600, or you can call other members of the murder team who are in Exeter tonight, waiting now. The number there, 01392 451 659. That's 01392 451 659.